Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheem Aljamain out of Atlanta, Georgia, but I want to welcome my brother and my sister from another mother, but we got the same father. And ladies are always first. So, good morning, Cookie. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning, Morning Ghost family.
Good morning.
How are
Good.
you?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Hyena happy, elephant elated, and porcupine proud to be here amongst the living this morning. Yes, we are. And Brandy, good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing
Good.
well. And you?
Doing absolutely amazing. Doing absolutely amazing. And to Salt, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. Doing like my mama always said, are you chicken with your head on peck?
Lord. Well, look here. That's one of them. That's one of them way down south. One of them way down south. That's way down south sayings right there, boy. To take your way on back to the good old days. I want to ask y'all a question this morning, and I'm gonna start, Brandon. Brandon, I'm gonna start with you, Brandon. What is everybody
Yeah.
always talking about they want to obtain the? Everybody always talking about they want to obtain the American dream. They're going to live the American dream, and they live in their life to they live in their life to fulfill the American dream. Brandon, what is the American dream?
The American dream is not the American dream anymore. To be honest, the affairs of this country has made it so to where that's not possible to, have a good paying job, from out of college and, having the white picket fence and all that stuff like that. Like, right now, people are, with inflation, people are being, bought out of that situation. It's kind of gone in reverse. More people are being renters and home buyers. More people are deciding to be, single than actually married or coupled up or, and going on bills together. Like it's just a total like opposite wave of what the American dream used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now a lot of people's American dream is to leave this country,
Wow.
altogether because it's a lower cost and better quality of living in other countries. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're seeing a lot of people in groves do that, like, or either minimize the life that they do have here in the United States. So it's starting to become like, at what cost do you work so much, to surpass to just to have things, you know what I mean? Just to have
Mm-hmm.
the tangibles of the American dream. So it's like people are discovering it's not worth working so hard when you're getting paid for so less.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not the same anymore.
I was talking to a numbers guy about a week ago, I think it was, and he said, Raheem, it's amazing how you can make $50,000 and live a certain way and be comfortable, but if you make $100,000, it's like you taking home less money. And
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean, man? And he broke that thing down to he said, man, and if you make $50,000, you're gonna bring home this amount of money throughout the
Yeah.
year. But if you make
Yeah.
$100,000, if you look at the numbers, you end up bringing home less money making 100,000 than you do make 50,000. And I'm like, man,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. You're taxed more. The more money you make, the more taxed you are, and then too is the more money you make, the more expenses you go up. And then like right now, it's becoming a divide of middle class. You know what I mean? Like, is it really? I mean, you got to make 3 times the rent somewhere. Most
Yep. Yep.
places now, it's over $2,000 to even stay somewhere decent,
Yep.
like to where you don't have to worry about if somebody's going to break in your car at night type of place.
Exactly.
And so like now every, where it used to be affordable, $1,000, $1,500, that's not even affordable for a single person. And that's why I was like, you just have to look at the logistics of everything. And it's, if there's adults going back home in groves right now,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Going back home to stay with their parents. And so if you know that to be true, then imagine these young kids in their 20s, early 30s, they can't afford a place by themselves.
Yeah.
They're barely out of college or whatever, stuff like that. And unmarried, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't blame anybody for doing what they need to do right now, because you might have to kind of rearrange what you thought the American dream was. You know what I mean? Multiple streams of income is no longer an option. It's a necessity.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so it's like you got to figure out, how is that going to work in your dynamic? Maybe it is getting married. Maybe it's just you getting another job. Maybe it's you getting multiple streams of income, things like that.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's just, you just got to rearrange what that looks like for you. For me, I know personally for myself, it's starting to own less. I don't want, like if I got to work so hard and work for so long just to have these things, I'm like, hey, I'm kind of cool. I don't want to work myself into oblivion just to have that,
I'm good. I am good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I remember quite a few years ago when we actually was doing the broadcast together, you was telling me about an action plan that you had, and to hear, you changed courses. Not that you've changed courses, it's just that a certain sense of reality has stepped in. That this maybe I don't need all that stuff. Maybe I don't. Yeah. And that's good. That's good. Let me go to Cookie. Cookie, what is the American dream?
I think the American dream is just to be able to live in comfort, without day-to-day stress, to not have that anxiety that comes with living paycheck to paycheck. You want to be able to live in a comfortable home, not necessarily in a fabulous home, but something comfortable.
Yes.
You want to be able to have a few coins in the bank, in case of emergency. You want to be able to have a little bit of credit in case you need to purchase something. But just to be comfortable, to be able to take a vacation, to be able to have moments of leisure. I don't think that the American dream is unreachable. I don't think it's unreasonable, and I don't think that in everybody's case that it is unattainable. Because look at us. We're people of color. Doing okay. However, we arrived at this point in our lives doesn't matter. We arrived here, and we are to a reasonable extent comfortable. I think that's what the American dream is. But also, we have to be mindful that the dream is different to different people. Some people's dream is to own everything, to control everybody. My dream is just to be comfortable. I think that that's rooted in the American dream, and I'm comfortable here because I was born here.
Yeah.
So to some degree, some part of me is tethered here because I was born here, but also my father, my grandfather, my great grandfather were also born here. So I'm to some degree the work and the tools that they have attached to the fabric of this country. That's partially mine. That's my heritage. So I feel some measure of attachment here. I don't wish to go anyplace else because here I'm a citizen. Someplace else, I'm a tourist. You could do whatever the paperwork requirements are, but I'm still tethered to this land because I was born here.
Okay.
I think that we have a lot of work to do in this country, and I think that we are on the precipice of possibly backsliding because the people whose dream differs from ours, they want power. They wish to stay in power. It's not enough to control the government. Now they wish to move toward authoritarianism, toward a dictatorship. They wish to not only rule, but to rule with an iron fist, to strip away our rights and to make people property once again. That's their dream. So when we have this conversation, it's important that we quantify who it is that's having the dream,
Okay.
because the dream differs depending on who that person is with their eyes closed.
And you said, and when you was talking, you said that there's a lot of work to do, and I agree with you. There's a lot of work to be done, but collectively as a unit, are we willing to do the work?
My answer will always be no, because I think that you cannot expect people who have suffered some of the things that we have suffered, you cannot expect them to be able to come together without those wounds making that collective effort challenging. You're always going to have people who look like us, who should be all for the collective, but some are stuck in the past. We used to do it this way. How dare you attempt to do it a different way? There's some people who are stuck in quicksand. We're never going to get any better. This is a mute effort. Our people are broken. Their psyche is not the same because of the things that they have suffered. We like to think sometimes that we can go through life and experience challenges. Even those who don't have serious trauma, you think that you can listen to the stories of other people and their trauma. You think that you can witness, the trauma of others, whether it be through a car accident on the interstate or through something that happened on the news. But the truth of the matter is, for all the trauma that you witness as a spectator, some of that mud gets on you. And eventually it weighs down the hem of your slacks too.
Exactly.
Maybe not to the same degree as the people who faced it personally, but as a spectator, you get some of that on you. That becomes a challenge when it's time to come together as a collective. So what we have to do is enrich and uplift and enlighten one another, support one another. Let me help you, clean your pants off so you have a fresh start. And then you in turn help me clean the mud off my pants. That's the attitude that we must have. And I don't know that as a collective we have it. So what we have to do is just find like minds, fellowship with those like minds, and build what you can together. Hopefully the other people will come around at some point, even if it's just to knock at the gate and say, I'm hungry, let me in.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. That's good. And there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of hope in what you just said. There's a lot of hope. But is there also hopelessness in what you just said?
For some people, yes, there's hopelessness, but we are also people of faith, and the Bible tells us that one of the things that was left here for us with the transition of Jesus is hope. As a person of faith, one has to have it.
Yeah.
Because that's what He left here for you. The Holy Spirit is here to be your comforter, to help you through things.
That's good.
That hope says that you can find pockets, where we can make it work. And in those pockets, we sustain ourselves, but we also help other people when it's necessary.
When it's necessary, absolutely. Toussaint, talk to me, brother. What is the American dream? Everybody talk about they want to obtain or have a piece or a part of the quote unquote American dream. But Toussaint, what is it?
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Does that pursuit often mean that you're going to obtain it?
No, see, what the thing about that is when even the Declaration was made, it didn't include you.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it didn't include the people that they took the land from. Because what is it? Our Native Americans, this land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island.
Sing it, Toussaint.
Singing by the thieves.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. It's actually a nightmare, right? Because when people have a agenda to have land taken from one and having others enslaved to build the desires of the perpetrator, It's a nightmare. It becomes a nightmare.
Yeah.
And now here's the kicker: that thing has been placed out there, and it's gone across the world. Hey, the trumpet has been sounded. You can go to America and live life with the pursuit of happiness and have liberty. So how you gonna liberate slave people?
Wow, that's good. Toussaint, is the American dream, and is the American dream the same for that houseless individual as it is for the rich man?
They're both dreaming. But remember the old song, "Nothing comes to dreamers, nothing comes to sleepers but a dream."
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's easier to achieve by the rich man, but anything's possible. Cookie mentioned faith, and through faith, we kind of like wait on the waiting list because the last to be first and the first to be last. I hear Cap say something. I'm just, where's Cap? Gotta check on Cap. America got their day coming.
Yeah.
So if it's true, which it is, I believe it's true. You reap what you sow. Can you imagine, out of all of the things that have been done to people to build this country, what is America in for?
Wow. Wow. That's good.
Just to deny some people, men and women, the rights that what you claim that are available. You made that. I didn't say it. You wrote it down on paper, so there's proof of it. But then you beat down a person to the point where you humiliate them.
Yeah.
And then you say, roll up your sleeves. And what is that bootstrap phrase? But how you gonna do that with no shoes on your feet?
Exactly.
That's kind of hard.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you don't even
It's
have
a nightmare.
you don't even have on any boots. So
Yeah.
what are you to use?
And here's the kicker. Your feet have been worn out for walking barefooted.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of difficult, right?
Yeah, very.
So I mean, it's achievable because we've come a long way. I mean, you liberated. You say you liberated, but I think Curtis says they got to re-implement the Freedom Act or whatever it is that we're not actually let go yet because we stay in bondage. And then here's another thing: we enslave ourselves with something else. That's crazy. You got to want it to get it.
Exactly.
And I'm like this. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. I ain't studying none of them. I don't even claim to be an American citizen. Really, I don't. I just do me.
Yeah.
So I live life in liberty, and I'm pursuing happiness. Matter of fact, go with the happiness. I ain't studying that.
Yeah.
I got joy.
Exactly. Joy in the morning, come for me. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Toya with a T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
Get ready. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. Toya, we're talking about everybody want to obtain the quote unquote American dream. They want a piece of the American dream. They want it. They pursue it. They after to get it. They want their piece. They want their slice of the pie. But Toya, what is the American dream?
It's whatever you want it to be. Do you want pie or cake? You
Mm-hmm.
want cookies?
Eat the cake, anime. Eat the
You
cake,
want
anime.
donuts?
Eat the cake.
It's up to you. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, why you want to eat somebody else's pie that they made?
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you want a piece of the pie, but you got it twisted thinking that you can get somebody else's pie. It don't go like that. You need to
Yeah.
make your own pie. You need to get your own ingredients. You need
Mm-hmm.
to produce your own goods. And when you get a slice of that American pie, that's the pie that you made, not nobody else's. We got this twisted talking about, oh, I want a slice of the pie, but you don't want to make the pie. You're
Mm-hmm.
thinking you're getting a slice of somebody else's and it's going to make it easier, but it's not. It ain't never been easy. Americans and humans and whatever race you want to call, we always had to grind. We always had to do it ourselves. We always had to take that to get to the next level. And most of us, we want the pie, but don't want to bake it.
Mm-hmm.
We want the pie, but don't want to buy the ingredients. You want to go to each person's house. You want to borrow a cup of sugar here, a couple of cherries there, a couple of flour here, there, to make your pie. And
Mm-hmm.
then you wonder why, at the end of the day, everyone who you just got something from, if you didn't steal it,
Mm-hmm.
come asking for a piece too. Now you feel a kind of way because you know you got the ingredients, so you give them the pieces that just owed them, and then ain't no more pie for you.
Mm. Wow. Wow.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The same opportunity. I used to be under that same spell. Oh, this and that and third is against me. Oh, what we've been through as black folks. Half the time I was holding myself back because I didn't want to go get the education.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to get up and do the specific jobs that different people had to do and do what it takes to save my money and save my credit and do the steps that it takes to put me in a position knowing the history of my people.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't put that on anyone else not achieving my dream except for me. And I'm like, Tucson, I don't need your pie. I'm going to make my own.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see when you start dipping in pies and cookie jars and stuff, everybody got to say something about it. If you make your own pie, you make your own cookies, eat your own pie, eat your own cookies. You ain't got to worry about what nobody got to say. So at the end of the day, the pie is available. You just need to make your own instead of trying to get a slice of somebody else's.
So are you in a roundabout way saying that some people are just lazy and don't want to go out there and get what's available to them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a lot of people out there that don't want to do the work, but you want the blessing. It's a lot of people that want the LeBron money, but you don't want to do the exercise and the sacrifice that man made to be who he was, to be great as he is. It's a lot of his friends that he used to roll with that when he was going to practice, that's a part of making that pie again. When he was missing out being a teenager, when he were missing out on things that other kids were doing, it now led to the pie that he eating out of right now. And a lot of people talk that game and they act like that game, but they really don't walk it because the commitment and the dedication that it takes for you to make that own pie or to make your own table, you understand what I'm saying? To make your own spread, most people are not willing to put in the effort and the commitment it takes to get there because it's so much easier to reach it across the table and get some of somebody else's.
Wow. That's good. Cookie, do you think that be the case right there? A lot of times people are just lazy. The dream is there, it's obtainable, is within their reach, but they don't want to reach out and exercise and do the things they need to do to obtain it.
I think in some cases, that's true. People can be lazy, but I think that we have to also be mindful that it's not obtainable for everybody. Everybody wasn't born with the same advantages. Everybody wasn't born with a fair start. Some people were born with challenges. In order to overcome those challenges, it means that those hurdles take time. In a race against somebody born at the starting line, they're most likely going to end up, not finishing, or at least not finishing first.
Mm-hmm.
We say our mouth.
Mm-hmm.
In one instance, we talk about how it is obtainable. But so many at the same time, we talk about having compassion for those who can't get it because there's systemic oppression in the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying to me, that's saying two things. If we recognize that there's oppression, and why is the expectation that everybody can obtain it?
Mm-hmm.
It should be understood. It should be baked into the pie, so to speak, that some of us cannot, because our obstacles are, in fact, so great.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be, fair when we assess these things, because that's the only way to achieve a good solution. America is not perfect,
No.
but I don't know
No.
that there's any place on this earth, where they are fair and just and perfect all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is this: as for me and my house, I'm grateful that I was born in a time and in a place where I have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that I was born in a country where I choose who I can marry,
Mm-hmm.
not my father. Because in some places, the father chooses your husband. He could be 5 years older than you or 50 years older than you. And depending on what he brings to the table, whether it's 2 sheep or 50 goats, that determines who I end up spending the rest of my life with. So I give thanks. I can worship how I want. I give thanks for being born on this soil, no matter its challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I was born here into a family where I know who they are. I know who my grandfather is, and my father, and my great-grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
They have enveloped me in their family and given me love and tenderness and kindness and love. Had I been born someplace else, maybe my life wouldn't be the way that it is. Maybe I wouldn't be capable of the compassion that I'm capable of, because maybe I wouldn't have been loved in quite the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter the circumstance, we have to look at the fact that it could always be worse.
Exactly.
Always.
Yeah. Absolute fact. 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open, and we asking a question this morning. Everybody talk about the American dream. They want to obtain the American dream. What is the American dream? What does it consist of? Give us a call. Give us your input. 508-924-3521. Curtis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Morning, family. Morning, morning glow. Morning glow, morning glow. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, we're talking about the American dream, brother. What is the American dream? Everybody want it. Everybody want to obtain it. But what is it?
I'm living it, bro.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm living it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? For me, you know, my forefathers did some things that allowed for me to do the things that I do,
Mm-hmm.
to be the I can be, and to go to places that I can go. Regardless to how some folks want to block that or stop that or change that, whatever. My forefathers, specifically mine, have at least been able to lay a pathway for me to travel on. So I'm living it, bro. I've been about 3 or 4 third world countries and seen how they live and seen what's going on, seen the atrocities that personally I don't believe we'll ever see it again in America. But I'm living it, bro.
Is America immune from these things that you're talking about?
Is America immune?
Yes.
No, not if you let this guy get back in office. We definitely ain't immune.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're paying attention, you can see that there's a political force in this country that is truly attempting to push the people back behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So no, we're not immune from going back to that. But I think in this world we got today, I really don't think deep down inside the majority of people want to go back to that. I don't even think they want to revisit that.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that what we have in this country is a small minority of folk that are trying to speak with the voices if they are the majority, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that small minority of folk they have the economical economic and political powers that they can try and sway and create these decisions. And the other day you was talking, and I got caught up in what we was talking about that I had forgot to mention to you. That I read the Willie Lynch letter maybe like once a week. I got a book that breaks down every part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it dawned on me that, in the Willie Lynch letter, outside of what it talks about what needs to be done to the Negro, but it also talks about how to arrange an overseer.
Mm.
It literally talks about, you gotta make the overseer believe that he has more than the Negro just by having the job of the overseer.
Mm-hmm.
That he has more Negro and the Negro is less than him. So, you gotta pay him well. You see what I'm saying? So, I just thought about that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's a lot tied into this thing that we're talking this morning about. What is the American dream? What is the American dream? What does it consist of? What does it look like? Has it changed over the years? 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. Give us a call. 508-924-3521. Joseph, good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, sir, and good morning, Morning Glow family.
Good morning. Good to have you, brother.
Go ahead. Yes, I heard your question.
Mm-hmm.
And has the dream changed over time?
Yes.
There has been times when, depending on who was controlling the political apparatus, where we saw some slight improvements, access to capital, access to home loans, things like that. And then there were times when others would come into office and reverse even that. I was watching a young man complaining about immigrants moving into a hotel area and being given monies to survive when he was working 40 hours a week and was homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And he was angry because the immigrants were being treated better. And even in Chicago, some of the people there were angry because immigrants are being treated better than the black people in that area. So the American dream it sometimes is in sight, is in reach, and then sometimes it's moved out of reach, just out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
With the rising cost of rents, for instance. I mean, you can't even work one job and maintain your rent at this level.
Yeah.
So, the American dream, and it ain't always because someone is lazy.
Mm-hmm.
We have had to contend with these forces since we've been here. I mean, if you're in Atlanta and you look at you look at Interstate 75 and 85.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that it runs right across Sweet Auburn Avenue.
Yeah.
And Edgewood Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get off, if you're coming from the airport direction, when you get off, to the right, you have the King Center, Ebenezer.
Mm-hmm.
And to your left, you have Big Bethel and I think the Atlanta Life building, which that whole street was a thriving Black community.
Yeah.
Wealthy Black communities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, money flowed up and down that street, Sweet Auburn. That's why they call it Sweet Auburn.
Sweet Auburn, yes.
Avenue.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But those with power sought to break up that sweetness by running that expressway right down there in the middle of it.
Mm.
See, but they do this in different places. Go to any major city and you'll see the same repeat. So we have to stay vigilant, and we have to make the American dream work for us. it's work. It's daily work. It's a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm enjoying some of the American dream. When I was in the Army, the Army paid for my education. I was able to get free education, but it wasn't free really because I paid taxes too
Yeah. Yeah.
before I went in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my tax money, the same money that we send to Israel to commit genocide against the Palestinians. My tax money.
Mm-hmm.
So so in the military, I had access to, higher education. But that was to the betterment of my whole society. Since I got that, I was able to come back to my community and work and labor and help, and help to make life better for my people in my community and for the whole state, really, or the whole county.
Mm-hmm.
So it's American dream, and you got to look at it for what it is, and you have to realize that our ancestors and us, we all have to struggle. We still have to struggle.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Captain Leonard, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Man, we're talking about the American dream and how everybody want to obtain American dream. People travel many miles, many different ways to get here so they can have and obtain the quote unquote American dream. But have that same dream to some individual become a nightmare. What do you say to that, Leonard?
Well, I don't like to call it a dream at all because it is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a dream. It's people seeking freedom, the freedom to prosper, the freedom to worship, the freedom to choose what they will do for a living, where they will live, the freedom to speak their mind. That's a big deal, but that's a reality here. The thing about it being a dream, you may like to talk about it in terms of creating speeches and things of that nature, but this place is a reality, and that's why those people trying to get here. So there are a lot of reasons and things why they choose to do what they choose, and I always tell people, if you think they have it so great, would you want to trade places with them? Ask these white folks out here. They'd rather do anything than be a Negro. Do you hear me?
So with that being said, I asked the question: has the American dream to some individuals become a nightmare?
No, the nightmare comes into the when we do different things, and I don't say about it being a nightmare because some of these people that come here are fleeing something. So anything here is better than where they're from. So when we're talking about this, that, and the other, it's a nightmare or whatever, what choices have you made that caused it to be as such? You have to factor that into everything. There are some people talking about, well, my tax dollars, would you trade places with these people? Since they're coming over here, taking everything from you and blah, blah, blah. Remember, our people were leaving the South, going to the North. Why? For more opportunity. Fleeing Jim Crow and all those types of things. Sometimes having to go so far as Canada. So this is something I believe that a lot of people
in that instance, Leonard, in that instance, and you say they was fleeing the South, going up to the North, and they was doing these different things. I asked the question again, why they were fleeing, going from one place to another place, sometimes, like as in your words, going as far as Canada. Were they trying to escape the nightmare that they was living at that particular time to obtain a better for themselves?
I don't like using the word nightmare. It was their reality.
Sometimes reality is a nightmare,
they dreamed about. They were fleeing a reality, a reality of persecution. So I always, when I'm trying to, I can't remember really how it was referred to when I was younger, but I never coveted another person's situation because that came with a lot of things that I didn't factor into their situation. If you're so, like, people have the same feeling about people here on welfare. Oh, they got so much, they're getting every. Would you trade places with those people since they're getting so much?
Yeah.
Would you like to be in their shoes since they're getting so much? So it's easy to sit around when you have made mistakes here and been here all this time and don't have nothing. And then somebody that just got here yesterday looked at it and managed to attain something. So I don't covet that. I don't sit and I really can't think of the word for it, but I'm so thankful and I'm so blessed that there's no way I would want to trade places with someone who wasn't.
Wow. But my thing is, and I understand what you're saying, and you have the right to make your point the way you want to make your point. But my thing is, I know that there are some people that and you say you elect or select not to use the word nightmare. I differ from that, man, because some people are living in a very nightmare situation, and sometimes not even on what they have done or not done. They're trying, very hard, but it's not always easy for those dots to connect sometimes. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
But it's nothing worse than two poor people trying to prove who poor.
That's the point, but that's not what we're talking about, though. I understand what you're saying, but that's not what we're talking about. Badger,
good morning.
How you doing this morning?
Another beautiful and blessed day.
We're talking about the American dream. Everybody wants the American dream. Everybody want a piece of the pie, if you will. But Badger, what is the American dream?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
I'm the question asker, brother.
Well, I guess it's whatever a person wants it to be.
I'm asking. No, I'm not asking a person. I'm asking Badger. Badger, what to you? What is the American dream? When I ask you what everybody else may think, or what do you? If I'm asking Badger, what is the American dream? What would you say it is?
Oh, I'm a little worried about saying it because I might get shot.
Okay, when we come back to you.
I was being facetious.
I know.
I want to see racism in. I want to see classism in. I want to see human beings be treated as human beings.
So that's what you say the American dream is?
Oh, you asked for me.
I'm asking you again. Is that what you say the American dream is?
I say that's what I would hope America would become, where human beings are respected and not viewed as a number. However, those that are running America are in polar opposite direction.
Okay.
So, it's this interesting question.
Okay, good deal. Toussaint, talk to me, brother.
Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in bed. You better wake up. Better wake up. Because dream is, Lord have mercy. I don't dream nobody else's dream. Stop it. That's somebody's dream. What they defined America's dream at. So I don't, no. Get on away from me with that. Because it's almost like I got to do what you do to obtain it. And the playing field is not level. And I'm not looking to have what somebody else has got.
Come on.
You said, or this country said, it's in the Constitution. It's in what the established. Let me see how much I try to say it. In this country, we have put out the hope that you can achieve. Anybody can come and live in this land of the free, the home of the brave. Okay, so now here's the kicker. Why you keep moving the goalposts?
Come on. Mm-hmm.
How in the world? And I just say, I'm just this part of my conversation, my part in this conversation. Okay, so you got 2,000 acres, and all I have is a promise of 40 acres and a mule
Mm-hmm. Come on.
that you never gave me. And I'm not talking about giving me something. When the rubber meets the road, we work for it.
Mm-hmm.
We work hard for it. Matter of fact, it would be better or more fair to give me a couple of 1,000 acres
Mm-hmm.
and you go live in the corner somewhere and sit down.
Mm.
Because, and I know that it seems like the majority should be able to achieve what those that are in the minority have.
Okay.
But the plan is, look, how in the world did a couple of I don't know how many people went over there and filled the boat up with slaves, but I bet you they had more slaves than masters. I bet that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I bet that. What you working with to achieve your goal? What's that echo? What do you have to work with?
Mm.
You mean to tell me I'm chained? And you have made life fearful because you separate my family. I'm devastated with the loss of. I don't even look, man. I don't even the child that I'm just talking about the enslaved people. The child that me and I'm putting myself in their place.
Okay.
The child that me and my wife have bared. I don't even know where they are.
Mm.
Because you took them through the night or in the middle of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got us working in the field, and then you called my sisters, and then you raped them.
Mm.
And then you at the same time write a document that tells me what I can achieve. Get the heck out of here.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. It's a lot. It's a lot, man.
And we're still dreaming.
Yeah.
You still got us dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin Luther loved him to death. Have we entangled ourselves, white man and black man, the rich man and the poor man? Are we arm in arm singing We Shall Overcome?
Mm.
I've seen the promised land. Have we gotten there yet?
No.
Where's the
No.
promised land?
No.
Where is the promised land?
Does it exist?
So when you say, what is the American dream? How in the world can you say to a young mother that has to work 4 and 5 jobs, or well, not 4 or 5 jobs, 2 or 3 jobs,
Mm-hmm.
on a minimum wage, that they can achieve a dream, that they can't even get a good night's sleep?
Mm. Wow. Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Brandy, talk to me, sis. What is the American dream? We're talking about the American dream this morning. What is it? Is it obtainable? Has it become a nightmare? Brandy, what's on your heart?
It has become a nightmare if you don't know how to navigate your mental space around it. It's just that we're coming into a new era of ways and things of doing things. So you just got to be innovative in knowing how to do so. So that's why I was saying, like, staying up with the times, being versed with AI and technology and things like that, knowing how you can use that as resources to create multiple streams of income. Those things like that will make the transition lighter, you know, for most Americans as far as trying to keep up with the American dream or trying to achieve it in the first place. Again, it like I said, it's not the same as what it was even just a decade ago. You know what I mean? It's constantly changing, it's constantly evolving. It's not, it is obtainable. I have friends that are barely making $500 a week, and I have friends that are making $60,000 a month on TikTok. And it's just the only difference between the two of them is their mindset and their ability to go ahead and get out there and just do it. You know what I mean? So it's about how bad do you want it now? You know what I mean? The goalpost has been moved. So now, yeah, are you going to get frustrated, or are you going to change your mindset and say, hey, okay, this is a new challenge. I'm just going to have to increase what I'm doing. I'm going to have to learn something different. Yeah, I'm just going to have to do something new. So,
wow, that's good.
So it's
that's good.
It's obtainable. It's obtainable. I mean, like I said, I see people thriving through this. And then I see other people suffering. So, you know, like I said, the only difference is the mindset.
Absolutely. Toya with a T, talk to me. Cookie, coming to you next.
Yeah, you know what? I too, right, with all that I've been through, right? Dealt the wrong gate type feeling. No, the American dream's not possible. No, it's not achievable. It's a nightmare. But again, I'm gonna go back to the part to where I helped make it a nightmare for myself. I'm still looking for something for America, not wanting to do the work, doing the exact opposite of what it takes to be a productive human being, right? It took for God to remind me, a man thinketh, therefore he shall be, Toya. When you depend on what America can give you and not what boundaries I can break, that is exactly why you're subjected to the things and the limitations you're subjected to, because you're so busy trying to operate up under what America says you are. So when he reminded me that I am serving a sea-splitting God, a giant taking God, a wall-crumbling God, I no longer have to live in dreams. I can make them realities. But what we have to understand is that there's a formula to realities. And let me just be real with you. That formula does not include allowing any other man to imprison me or create me in bondage or have me in slavery. It does not. It has nothing to do with that accomplishing and achieving my dreams. And now that I'm woke, because see, all of that was just smoke from the devil, trying to make me, I can't do anything. No, now I'm about to break boundaries. There's nothing that no man can say on this earth, not a pharaoh, not a president, not a white man, not a Latino. It doesn't make a difference. There's no human being that can walk on this earth and make me inferior anymore, because God has already reminded me who I need to be operating up under. And let me show you what he used to me. What he showed me, where, Toya, it's you in your head. I used to watch TBN. He put a white man with no arms and no legs on the television in front of me, and this man's a millionaire. You understand me? And I said, oh, woe is me, Lord. I can't even identify. He's a white man. He said, oh, really? Okay, no problem. The next thing he put on there was a black woman with no arms. She had a baby, changing Pampers and doing braids with her feet.
Yep.
And I said, girl, if you don't get yourself up from there, honey, there's no excuses. You got 2 arms, you got 2 legs, you got 2 eyes. If these 2 people right here who was born to less circumstances than what you have, you know that it has to do with only you. Let's not use these other outside sources that we give our power to distract us, because again, the part of serving a sea-spitting God is having the ability to still be a millionaire even if I ain't got no arms and legs. I got to use just me and just what's inside. And if people can do that with half of the game taken away with them, I know if I'm a full game, legs, eyes, mouth, I can see color, and the brain, I now know the power that I really have, and it does not come from me allowing it to be given to me. It comes to me from taking it, because I need to remember I'm already 7 steps ahead of the game, and I can only win if I'm with God. Period.
Good deal. Good deal. Cookie, talk to me. We got a couple other people on the phone line. Going to come to you as well. Cookie, what's on your heart?
Again, my position. I just wish that we use what we have.
Mm-hmm.
In America, there's an attitude of excess. No matter what we have, it seems that we always want more. But if you have enough to be comfortable, why not help? Why not pour into somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the selfishness. Are we becoming, like the land that we live in?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to this broadcast, and sometimes I'm a little bit confused. We talk about the Bible. We talk about history. We talk about helpfulness. We talk about the collective. We talk about so many things. But we also seem to move sometimes with an attitude of selfishness. If there's a group of people who are not as privileged as we are, who need our assistance, what are we doing to help?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we having conversations that are boots on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not building something for them? Why are we not generating something among ourselves that could be used to help these people? It's a beautiful thing to have these intellectual conversations. They're so helpful in many ways. But what are we putting into action? Because if all of us have the American dream, isn't a part of that dream that you want your brethren to be able to excel also? Wasn't that a part of Martin's dream? In all of his speeches, didn't he talk about where he wanted all of us to go? Not just himself, not just his family. What he wanted to see for his people on these shores. So if we have to talk about the American dream, I want to make sure that that's part of the subject as well.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing everybody who looks like me elevate in some way. At least reaching down, grabbing somebody's hand and pulling them along with me.
Mm-hmm.
Mentoring people, at no cost. Not charging people for information. Setting up Zooms for pay. To give people information that you have, you could readily share. Don't be a gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the important thing for me. Mm-hmm. To let my voice and whatever experiences that I've had, to let those positive things be able to be radiated and shared among somebody who might be helped by it in some way. That's part of my American dream, to help somebody.
That's good. That's good. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Asking the question, what is the American dream? And does your dream include helping somebody else? Like Cookie was just talking about. Do your dream, is it a selfish dream, or do your dream include helping somebody else get to where they need to get to, even if it benefits you or not? Cassandra, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we're talking about the American dream. And what is the American dream? Everybody say they want a piece of the pie. Everybody want to obtain the American dream. But Cassandra, what is it? What is the American dream?
I think the American dream is different things for different people. So you can't really, I can't put it in a basket and say this is what the American dream is. I can say that this is what the American dream is for me, and someone else, their dream is a totally different thing because mine does not include money, 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 money. That has never been a part of my never, never, and I can say that clearly. Never has been a part. Mine has always been to serve, to make sure that other people are reaching goals and stuff, just like what I've attained or what I think I've attained, and that doesn't matter who it is. That's why I love working with the homeless. I love working with the mentally ill people, the people that are on the outskirts, I'll say, of our American dream. You know, people don't believe that they have a right to a part of whatever we consider the American dream. So my life has been centered around serving and making sure that other people are okay and that they have what they need. See, for a homeless man, his dream may be something as simple as getting a meal for the day.
Yes.
You understand? And for me, it may be seeing that he gets that meal for the day, seeing that he gets the shoes that he needs, seeing that you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, and for somebody else, it's moving up the corporate ladder. You understand? Making more money. That's it for them. They just need to make more money. That they don't care about nothing else. They don't care about who on the street. They don't care about whether somebody else has a need. It's all about them. So the American dream is different things for different people. And especially at this stage of my life, I'm almost 65 in a couple of months. My American dream is to continue to serve those that are in need, find ways to make my neighborhood better, my state better. That's it for me. I'm not looking for the money. And yes, we need money. I'm not stupid. Yes, we need money to do all these things, but that is not my focus. I'll let somebody else do that. That's not my focus. So,
and I asked the
I
question.
don't know what
I asked the question earlier. I asked the question earlier along what you're talking about right now. I say, is the American dream the same for the houseless individual as it is for the rich man? And I think it's totally different. The American dream for those two. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Rico, good morning. So how you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Just happy to see another day, man. Thankful the Creator gave me another day.
Absolutely.
Me and mine. Everybody that I love. What's going on with y'all?
Hey, we're talking about the American dream, and everybody want a slice of the pie. Everybody want a piece of that pie. Everybody want to obtain the American dream, quote unquote American dream. But Rico, what is the American dream?
Well, honestly, the American dream was here before Martin Luther King's dream, so they ain't the same. Because not my, but the in general American dream was built off our backs to be the most powerful and most successful. And then it evolved. What Martin Luther King's dream was to change the process and put everybody in a God state. Because the American dream was built around a man-made standard and desire, to me, for heaven on earth. That the bar can be moved to keep certain people from achieving that same American dream, which would be the most powerful, the most dominant, the richest. So now here it is, with all this power and this dominance and this wealth. Here comes Robin Leach. Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yes.
Carry our dreams. And limousines. All the finest things in the world you can imagine. Beyond your comfort. But even with things you just want to have access to, maybe you can fly to the edge of Earth and float in space for a second. Ooh, ain't that the American dream? Everybody can achieve that. So yeah, the American dream ain't the same dream that Martin Luther King had. And if people do believe that, understand that he was a different type of shepherd. He was a different type of leader. So right now, the American dream is being shown through Kanye West and Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
That's American dream.
Mm-hmm.
So, even like, I like what Cookie said, even on this show, you know what I'm saying? You can hear the influence of what man has created on a lot of people that speak very well and very knowledgeable about Christianity and God. But when you start talking about money, you can't even mention the word money before people already draw their battle lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they won't even hear the truth. Last week there was a question. All the money you can dream of, or absolute peace, didn't mean you had to be broke. But just the audacity of you questioning money against anything else, oh my God, you got to be a fool not to choose all the money you can dream of.
Yeah.
Over absolute peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over us Christians. God, God, God. Until you leave them alone, because they're only thing getting that money. They just making money. Leave them rappers alone. They just making money. They doing good. They're providing a life for themselves. They don't have to ask anybody for anything.
Yep.
They have accomplished success putting out music that promote killing each other and going to prison. So yeah, the American dream, man, has been tainted by the desire or the lifestyle of the rich and famous. And it was like that from the beginning, because with wealth comes power. And America always have wanted that.
Wow.
And so that bar is going to be moved. And the minute we want that bar, then we absolutely become blind to what Martin Luther King's dream was, because it definitely was not the same.
Exactly. And I'm gonna give the number once more 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Joseph King said in one of his speeches that he believed. Joseph, you there? Joseph, you there? Okay, Joseph been stepped away from.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
King,
yeah, I'm here. I was trying to find a thing. Go ahead.
King said in one of his speeches that one of his last speeches that he feels as though the check has come back void. Has come back with insufficient funds. And he spoke on that.
Yeah.
Has America wrote us a bad check?
Oh yes, indeed. Because if you look at the Homestead Act, which gave lands out west to those peasants coming from Eastern Europe and Europe, in that Homestead Act, it says anyone can get this land except people who have previously been working in agriculture or domestic work. That's a good way to exclude you, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Because most of the black folk were working in the fields.
Yep.
And they couldn't get access to the land. So see, the government, passed these laws and they can regulate who gets opportunity. So that's why what I like to see is I like to see black folks in every echelon of the American government to watch. Black men and women in CIA, FBI, Homeland Security, everywhere, where we can watch our government. I want us to watch our education system, make sure our children are getting access to wholesome education that will prepare them to take advantage of opportunities on an equal basis, and to understand their history so they can see when something is off kilter. They'll be able to recognize it right away. So yeah, I want to enjoy the American dream, but yeah, we've been issued a bad check, but we still gonna cash it.
Yeah.
If everybody else gonna cash theirs, we're gonna cash ours. And we go out to fight these wars for our country, and we love our country, and we support our Constitution. But in fact, we support our Constitution more than other folks, because we didn't go and attack the Capitol.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
And those three people those three soldiers who was killed week before last up there in Jordan on Lonely Outpost. They were serving their country, serving this country that we love, that gives you the American dream. So I want to put it all in perspective so we can watch together and we can all look at this thing together. And every echelon of government, whether the state house or the federal government, so we can watch everybody and watch for our rights and our American dream. Now, that's a little radical, but that's what I want to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the way we can help everybody. Huh?
Help everybody across the board. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We can help everybody across the board. Poor, white, brown people who've been discriminated against, the underserved, people who've been wrongly incarcerated. That'll get everything. And if we educate our people and teach our brothers and sisters that what we're hearing on the rap music about getting that paper, that ain't the American dream. That ain't the reality. If you get all that money and you ain't got no brain and you ain't got no spirit, you ain't got no soul, you won't know what to do with it no way. You'll be like the boy down there in jail now fighting RICO charges. See? Because he got all that money and still acting a fool. You need an education.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need an education and need your heart right.
Good deal. Good
well,
deal.
Let's teach that part too.
Exactly. And we have to. Curtis, King said in that particular speech that they have written us a bad check. It has come back insufficient funds. What was he saying to us without saying to us, Curtis?
He was saying that they made you promises that they ain't held up on. They have cooked the books, so to say. In that same speech, if I'm not mistaken, he says something about, but this time we're going to get our check. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I look at things symbolically. And here's something that I'm going to say about the insufficient check. See, these people been doing a lot of things. Glory be to God, because when you're doing evil, something about the evil that you do, what is true will always be available. There's been times where they try to say there were no black folk in the Bible, but yet instead when the Bible was translated, his hair was as wool, feet was as if they were burnt, skin was as copper. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't take that out. They couldn't take it out. You know what I mean? Somebody didn't read that part, right? What I like to say about the insufficient check is, in terms of that, you know what they did? They gave us an insufficient check, but them dummies ain't even have enough sense to know, don't put the real account number and routing number on the check. If you're gonna give me a bad check, don't you use your account number and routing number to give me a bad check. Better change them numbers around. Because at some point, I'm gonna realize, oh, he done wrote me a bad check. Oh, but I got this routing and this account number, so I'm gonna hit them on the back end with the technology, and I'm gonna go on in that bank account anyway. So I think in our modern day society, I think that I think we're pressing. A lot of things that we say and speak out against and rally for, 60 years ago, we wasn't able to do that. 60 years ago, we wasn't even at the table. And when we was at the table, well over 100 years ago, when we was at the table, according to the Compromise of 1877, we got kicked. The legs of the table got taken, and the legs on the chairs got kicked from underneath us.
Mm-hmm.
So the bad check is definitely prevalent. Like you just see it. It's made prevalent through laws, and I saw Jon Stewart was sitting with his writing team, and he said something right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw this day before yesterday. It was out the day before yesterday or Sunday. He said something that was so powerful and true that even the white people sat at the table couldn't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, how long are we going to continue to ask a group of people to do 5 times what is necessary for us to do once?
Mm-hmm.
And that thing, it rattled my spirit, because when we try to do or move to do, we gotta be, there's this ideology that we have to have 5 times what they have to achieve. It was powerful the way he put it. If you get a chance, when you get a chance, look it up. It's Jon Stewart speaking to his writing team for The Daily Show.
Good deal.
It just blew my mind, bro.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna pull it up and take a look at him. Definitely got to pull it up. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Sometimes I just find things interesting, and I've always wondered what the definition of the American dream was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know it can be it can be very dependent on each individual, as all things are. So, however, I guess the most common I've heard is money. And there's a video I shared with you. Don't know if you watched it or not, where it's an older woman talking and a younger man. The man's making fun of her because she has dementia and stuff like that. But it goes on to say that sometimes the devil will make you comfortable so you don't reach out for God.
Wow.
It's should be in your messenger.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it very much applies, because I do my best to live as I'm supposed to live as a human, and when things are provided, it's my responsibility to use the things that are provided to make sure I'm taking care of my family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, it's God's work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I work very hard to stay away from that the word I.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's, for me, talking about the American dream, I guess, is hope in America would be what even Jesus would want to return to.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Toya with a T, talk to me. Hold on, Kirk. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the fight is all about, right? I think that, again, I'm reminding myself that the American dream was a campaign slogan.
Mm-hmm.
You can never have a dream on top of a nightmare. Still a nightmare. what America utilized as a way to become who she is. Although I feel like there is a bit of protection that comes with that, I still think at the same time the brutality, when we look at trying to make that whole situation of stealing other people's lands and killing them to take it, bringing other people over and killing them and murdering them, those are nightmares. Now not want to let people in, we got new nightmares now. So now the American dream is the campaign slogan now that we want for people to feel better. Because we still need you to believe in America. We still need you to be okay with letting us take money out top dollar before you even get your check, because those are the rules and the laws and the guidelines. And long as y'all decide to continue to go by the rules and the laws and guidelines, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work anywhere else in the world, because we said that these are the rules and the lines and the guidelines. We still need y'all to abide by them for us to thrive. So if we continue to live in a dream, if it's not your dream, it's not going the way you wanted to go, then whose dream is it? Whose dream is it?
Yeah.
So if it's the American dream, which I don't want one, I got a Toya dream. And again, I'm going to revert back, coupled with God. That's how I can achieve sea-splitting miracle type situationships in America. And it happens everywhere. There's a bunch of underdeveloped countries where people make their way. But they still, 9 times out of 10, whether we don't want to admit it or not, they made their way with a God on their side. I'm just saying. I mean, it's true, right? You can rape all the little girls you want to, little boys. You can sex traffic them all you want to, but there's still things that come behind that they don't remind you that it's a part of the nightmare. But it still goes on. So that's why they only want us to focus on a dream. But again, whose dream is it if it's not going the way you want it? Okay? So we develop the stories in these dreams. Harriet Tubman was a nightmare to some people. You understand me? But she still operated on a guideline where she was operating under a God, a sea-splitting one. So therefore, if it's their nightmare for me to cause havoc, not going and abiding by their rules, because the only rules I gotta abide by is God's, then I shall be someone's nightmare. You're not gonna have a dream over here. Ain't no sleeping over here. So if we really know what America is and stands for, that's another reason why we know we got to get out from up under that facade and utilize this land the way God said so. And if it be go heal people, if it be go feed people, if it be go help the homeless without being arrested, come on, man. Don't even get me started on the foolery they got going on right now as laws. And they want to utilize the scripture, the laws of the land. But you don't let me feed a homeless person and I can go to jail. Boy, stop. No, I'm woke. I'm serving a God, and I'm making my own dreams, and I'm sorry if there's somebody nightmares.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
You know, it's good to hear different perspectives. Because this is what it really is about. The overall American dream is really pretty much a theory, right? And that American dream theory is that anybody, regardless of how they were born and what situation where they were born, can come to America and become what they want. And they have that opportunity to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. It is the background for the fight that those who were fighting for the civil rights of African Americans used. Because they saw where, one, if this is that place and we are here, we are entitled to that. The civil rights movement and things. And so that was possible here because of a document that said that we all should have access to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And even within that very same document, the slave was able to use to show his entitlement to the ideas of what that document said. And so that was the movement that led to where we are today, which a lot of people from all over this world are familiar with. And so they're seeking that. Regardless of where they at or what have you. You have people putting their children on boats and things of that nature, not knowing if they're ever going to see them again, just to get here for that opportunity. So one, if like I always tell people, if your eye can only see from the perspective of being black, then you blind.
Mm.
And you need something to correct that so you could see the reality of this entire world. And then you'll know, okay, what can I do? I
Hey,
love what
Leonard,
Ms. Cassandra said. This is what I've
is
chosen
it
to
a
do,
bad thing?
and this is what I'm going.
Leonard, and for the sake of conversation, I want you to answer this question for me. Is it a bad thing that a black person see it only in the eyes of being black?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Yes. Because the narrative of being black is not a good one that people have painted for you. See, if you always believe that you can't do something because you're black, then you'll never do anything because you can never be not black, can you?
But that's my part. That's my part of the point right there, because you can never be not black. So how do you want me to see things through somebody else's eyes when I am a black man? I have to see things as they appear before me.
However, what I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you only believe that your life, liberty, and happiness is limited to being black, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Okay.
Instead of thinking of yourself as someone else's pawn, you must think of yourself as a human being entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Despite color, despite race, despite disability, despite any of that.
See, Leonard, what I hear, and maybe I'm hearing it wrong, and anybody could jump in and correct me. But what I'm hearing is almost like you're saying, ignore the very thing that they're using against me because of the fact that I'm black. You're telling me to ignore that and don't look at the fact that I'm black and do everything else and think of yourself as a human. They're not looking at me, and I say me, I'm just using it as an example, but they're not looking at me as being a human. They have never treated me as being a human. They put all the obstacles and barriers before me that would not allow me to obtain the things that I'm trying to obtain. But you're telling me to ignore those things that they're putting before me and just look at the fact that you are a human. Yes, I am a human, but at the same time, that has nothing to do with the barriers that they're placing before me.
That's a great point, Raheem. And I won't let it finish, but I want to add this to what you said. We were forced to look at things through black eyes because we were disallowed access to resources. And we just wanted the rights that an average human should have. It wasn't that we wanted to look at it through a black eye. We had no choice because they told us no blacks allowed.
Yeah.
May I?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make one statement. I don't know how to look through anything other than lens of being black, because our blackness enters the room before we do. Our blackness enters the room even before our humanity does.
Yeah.
Amen.
And so that was
the whole purpose of the civil rights movement. That was the entire purpose of the civil rights movement, because we had to look at it from the black perspective. Nobody else cared about it or even wanted to. I put it to you this way: everybody denied us because of our blackness. They had no choice. We had to fight it from the black perspective, from the black point of view, because they made that black point of view the reason why we couldn't have or didn't deserve.
Wow. Leonard, we stepped into your time. Go ahead, brother. I'll come on.
Well, I mean, it is up to everyone to choose their own perspective. Talk to your African brothers and sisters and see how they view themselves. Because they came before you. This just happened to them that were brought here. But it doesn't change the fact that they view themselves as children of God, created to be free. That does not change. But when you use these other things that society has put on you, that's a burden. And it's up to you to break away from that. There are people that you will run into that get shot because, one, you behave like a free man who has always been free, and you'll fight and you'll kill anyone who tries to take it. I'm that black man.
Okay.
I'm that black man that does not care what you label things, what you say I can't have, what you say I won't do. It's not up to you. And a lot of people are telling someone else's story. And this is why I do not like exploitation of our history. Because if you relegate yourself to a white man's world, and that's all you are, dig your own hole. Because that's where you should be.
Wow. Okay, Curtis, I think there was Curtis about to say something.
That was me.
Okay, go ahead.
No, that wasn't me. I think that was Tucson.
Okay, Tucson.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
If I have to see what the thing about it is that I have to arrive from that hole. I'm already in the hole. Not discrediting what's said, but I don't stand at the top of the mountain saying I'm trying to achieve. I'm in the hole trying to get it. I'm kind of like Joseph. I know the possibilities of me being in the palace, but here's the thing. When I walk through the door, I have to say, here you go again, seeing me as a black man, not as a man. And I'm not using that as an escape, but you are. So now, instead of just walking like a normal person, I have to have this sort of defense. I have to maneuver. I have to be twice as good as you, and all you have to be who you are. Okay, here's the thing. I walk in the door, and my father has no pull. Yours have ill-gotten gain, and you on the top of the corporate ladder, if it's the corporate ladder, or the business realm, whatever it is. You get hired because of Uncle Billy. And me, I don't have anybody there. So I have to go by what I earned, and I know. Me, myself, I'm kind of at my point in life, I'm walking down the corporate ladder. I'm not trying to rise above the corporate ladder. The heck with that. I ain't studying that. I've been there, done that. I ain't studying that. So I'm doing my own thing. I'm trying to make my money count for me. Not trying to make no money. I'm trying to make it happen. For some people, it's already happening. You mean to tell me that you born with a silver spoon in your mouth, and I can't even get a plastic fork?
Wow. Come on. That's good. Cassandra, talk to me, Cassandra. Come on.
Yeah, I wanted to just sort of get back to the term you use, the American dream, right?
Yes.
The gentleman that actually coined that phrase was a gentleman named James Truslow Adams. And his definition, this was in 1931, he wrote a book. And his definition of the American dream was a dream of a social order in which each man and woman shall be able to attain the fullest stature of which they are capable, and to be recognized by others for what they are, regardless of the fortuitous circumstances of birth or position. Now, does that sound like what the black man has experienced in America?
No,
not even close.
No.
But the term came. See, we weren't even considered citizens or anything else for a long time in this country. So there was a lot that we had to try to attain with nothing. Pull
Yes.
yourself up by this bootstrap does not exist for us for many reasons, but the many reason one is far ahead to me is we didn't have boots to pull the straps up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Where were the boots?
Absolutely.
Where were the boots?
Mhm.
We did not have the boots to even pull our bootstraps up. So, we can say in education, all that is great. But let me tell you something. Some of the most profound things that I've ever learned and I gained as far as wisdom, knowledge, and understanding
Mhm.
came from people that were sharecroppers. They
Mhm.
told their stories. Those stories impacted my life for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
So it's not about, and it's great. I love education. No, don't get me wrong. I was an educator, but I believe that we sometimes overlook the very people that have the life-changing words that could set us on the right path
Mhm.
because they're not at a certain level. Great grandmama said some things.
Yes. Yes, Lord.
Uncle Joe
Mhm.
said some things.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. The American dream was never set for us. Let's just make that clear.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just wanted to say that. Let's make that perfectly clear. It was never intended for people of color.
Mhm. That's true. True. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I thought you were gonna go to King Cook and Brandon first, man. But thank you, Cassandra. That's what I've been saying the whole time.
Mhm.
It was never meant for us, even in the kind way that the originator of it spoke of it.
Mhm.
Not when we were not considered or we were just fighting just to have the basic rights that the average human in America had.
Mhm.
Obviously, it wasn't meant for us because we had to fight for just those basic rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think about Martin Luther King's dream and the American dream. I love what Badger said. Jesus would love to come back in Martin Luther King's dream.
Mhm.
But based off the American dream that he see, man, Jesus would totally contradict the American dream because it would go against the economic system and financial profitability.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it would not be wise
Mhm.
financially for the American dream to be comfortable for Jesus to come back to.
Mhm.
I sort of hate to use movies as analogies, but this one example I'm going to give. This one example I'm going to give is going to sort of give you the idea of the fact that we have had so many Black creators and inventors
Mhm.
that did everything the honorable way to give us the life and the technology that we see today, but then we have to dig to find out that they were the ones that created it. They didn't even want to give them the respect to recognize them for inventing it. Maybe they didn't get rich off of it,
Mhm.
but it's making a lot of people rich today.
Yes, sir.
But we're not going to even honor the people that created this technology that made life so much better for your existence.
Mhm.
We don't even want to let you know that it was a black man did it.
Mhm.
But you expect us not to look through black eyes when those people were fighting just to be respected and recognized for their accomplishments, not rewarded, but
Mhm.
just don't steal my technology, don't
Yeah.
steal my idea, don't steal
Yeah.
my invention.
Mhm.
Because the dream was as if I do everything the way y'all tell me to do it based on the Constitution and the design of the American dream. Well, when I'm finished with this telephone system, they won't call it Bell. They'll call it by my name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe when I develop this traffic light,
Mhm.
people will acknowledge me for it and not this. It gets to a point where the black man thinks he done made it. And he might move up to New York and climb up the ladder and then come down south and he wants some whites only pies.
Mhm.
And he think he deserves it because he got the money.
Yeah.
I got everything everybody else got.
Mhm.
I want to know how much one of them pies cost. These are whites only pies. Well, how much it take to turn one of them whites only pies into nigger pies?
Mm.
Click, click.
We ain't got
So you
no
can't look
Negro
at it through the eyes
pies.
of a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King had no choice but to look at it through the eyes of a black man just to speak on human rights. He had no choice.
Exactly.
He didn't dig his own grave, they dug it.
Mm-hmm.
So we can never stop looking at it through our eyes, because the minute we do, reality gonna kick in and let us know that these are whites only pies.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say no blacks alive, just not allowed, and you have got the money and everything else to get those white only pies, they ain't gonna turn them over to the niggas only pies.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna see the barrel of that gun.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't meant for you, and we meant it.
Wow. Wow.
Black
Wow.
person.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Wow.
you cannot ignore that. You can't look at it through a Chinese man eyes. When you the one got the gun in your face and you got the money,
Mm-hmm.
and you're hungry for that pie,
Mm-hmm.
that piece of that pie,
Exactly.
the American pie.
Mm-hmm. American pie. Ain't that something? Brandy, talk to me. Brandy, you there? Brandy, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep. Cookie, talk to me, Cookie.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to mention something.
Uh-oh.
I think that we forget that two things can be true at the same time. There are some people who can achieve the American dream, while there are some people who can find themselves in a perpetual struggle. I think that today, if you were to ask Jay-Z, has he achieved the American dream? I think that, I like to use my imagination and think that he might say so, yes, but not for the reason that we think. Because he has achieved money. Doors have been opened to him. He sits at seats where sometimes he's the only black person in the room. All those things are business. I think that if you were to ask him the question, he might say the pinnacle of his dream, the pinnacle of his success, was being able to stand on a stage at a white people's program and sing at the top of his lungs, sing the praises of his talented wife. Because he stood on the stage of the Grammys and said, my wife has more Grammys than anybody, more Grammys than anybody in American history. But you've never given her the #1 album. He said, by your own metric, that simply does not work. It doesn't compute. Imagine the pride that he felt being able to defend his wife in a predominantly white space. For somebody like him, a black man who's a provider, who's a father, who's a husband, that might be the fulfillment of his American dream. Because very seldom is it that you get to defend your wife, your beautiful black wife. Those are some of the things that we have to value. Whereas this country is not perfect, it affords us probably more opportunities than many other places. And for those few opportunities, regardless of the struggle, I give thanks for those opportunities, because life could certainly be worse.
Amen.
With your permission, I would like to go into our Black History facts.
Go ahead.
If that's permissible at this moment.
Absolutely.
Thank you kindly. Today, I have for us the first black attorney in the United States. His name was John Mercer Langston. He was the first black man to become a lawyer. He passed the bar in 1854. He was then elected to a post of the town clerk in Ohio. In 1855, he became the first American ever elected to public office in America. John Mercer Langston was also the great uncle of Langston Hughes. The next fact we have is there's a black woman. Her name is Althea Gibson. Althea Gibson was the first American woman to compete in a Pro World Tennis Tour in 1956. She won a Grand Slam title. Overall, she won 11 Grand Slam titles, including 6 singles titles. And she has a stadium named after her on the campus of the U.S. Open. The last Black History fact is the first professional black baseball player. His name was Jackie Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
He became the first African American to play Major League Baseball when he joined the Brooklyn Dodgers. He led the league that year in stolen bases, and so he became the Rookie of the Year. But let me tell you all a little known fact about Jackie Robinson. Did you know that Jackie Robinson had a brother, an older brother? His name was Matthew Mack Robinson, and he broke the Olympic record in 1936 in a 200-meter dash. However, he did not get a gold medal. The reason he did not get a gold medal, he got a silver medal, is because the same year that he broke the record, he was beaten by Jesse Owens, who broke the record even more than he did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our Black History Facts for today.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Curtis, talk to me, brother. And next is going to be Willow. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, that Black History moment was beautiful.
Yes.
One thing that we should add to that, the man Jackie Robinson was so good at what he do. Nobody in the NBL can wear the number 42.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That number has been retired by the league.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, they'll retire a person's jersey at that team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a reason why you will see nobody in the National Baseball League wearing the number 42. It was retired.
Wow. Wow.
When I really think about this whole thing and all the things that go with it, a lot of times I'm reminded of the fact that nobody's dream of America is the same. Nobody has the same dream. No two people dream the same dream at the same time. And what is the American dream, for example, for those who are those immigrants who are coming here? That dream could just be a dream of peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes we don't really mention it. We talk about the flow, but we don't mention why. So just, if I can for just a minute, right hand.
Yes.
You are a consummate man and protector of your family.
Absolutely.
I think that I can say that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I think it's safe that I can say unequivocally that when it comes down to Brina and them girls and them grandkids, if somebody come up in there the wrong way, they gonna leave with holes in them. I think it's safe I can say that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Now, according to where you live, this is just a question for the question answer and asker, and for those that want to answer the question themselves. If where you lived right now, 40,000 people, 40,000 predominantly men, were murdered in cold blood right there in the street. I wonder how many of us would stay. I wonder how many of us would stay in that situation where there's almost an 80% guarantee that your kid is going to die. So the one thing I love about being Black is at the end of everything, every right that is given to others is driven by us. Every single one of them. And history teaches us that over and over again. I would just hope that at some point we accept the reality, the inconvenient truth, should I say, that this country has told our children a bunch of lies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I take pride in it, man. My family was very, very connected not only to the civil rights movement, but to the slavery movement. Period.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My great uncle is Joseph McNeil.
Mm-hmm.
And Raheem, I know you got browbeat with it because it's where you from.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
The Greensboro Senate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's my great uncle. Joseph McNeil is my great uncle.
Right there, Woolworth. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
At the Woolworth.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, I take it upon myself to say that I have a personal responsibility to try my best every day to move the generations that follow me forward. So that is a part of my dream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, does that dream become a nightmare? Yeah, it does. Because there are those that do not want me to live my dream.
Exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're talking about the American dream. Everybody wants a slice of the apple pie. Everybody wants a slice of that pie. Everybody wants to obtain the American dream. But we're asking the question today. What is it? What is the American dream? Is it reality? Or has it come back to be a nightmare? Well,
Good morning, Raheem.
Good morning.
Morning Glow.
Good morning, young lady. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Raheem.
Good.
Really well.
The American dream, Willow. What is the American dream? Or has it become a nightmare? Is it a fabrication, just a figmentation of our imagination? What is it?
You know, I was trying to figure out what was the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
And what came to my mindset was that, you know, when they did that declaration, we the people of the United States in order to form a more perfect union.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about a union, I think about a marriage.
Come on.
A marriage between two. So when I thought about that, I thought about how do we perform a more perfect union in a world filled with different cultures, but everybody trying to climb on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, I imagine this picture of somebody going to the next step, reaching their hand down, pulling up the person to the next level. Then it constantly dominoes on up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I look at when I think about to form a more perfect union, lifting each other up, regardless of what color we are. But somehow one culture has outstood another culture based on the color of our skin or our religion or sexual orientation or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
That perfect union, it will not be formed because of the attitudes and the way people are in their hearts nowadays. Man, it's so bad nowadays. It's not even funny, Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's disgusting. Because no matter where you go and you talk to people, you find somewhat of the same thing. So that perfect union of the American dream, I don't see that happening in our generation.
Yeah.
Maybe it will when God comes back.
Exactly.
But it's not going to happen now. So that's what's on my heart right now.
Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra, do you agree with that? Do you think it'll ever happen? Cassandra?
Yes.
Do you think it'll ever happen?
What?
In order to form, you ain't hear Willie just now? So
establish justice, secure domestic tranquility, provide for the Department of Defense, and all the whole song. Yeah, I know the song from the Rock, whatever that rock thing is. We used
Schoolhouse Rock. The Schoolhouse Rock. Yeah.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. For a lot of our sakes, I guess I hope that happens one day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have too much faith in it personally, but I don't. This country doesn't want the American dream to work for everybody. Let's just
Mm-hmm.
be clear.
Mm-hmm.
That's I mean that's all I can say. This country as a whole does not want the American dream for everyone that is a part of this country. I mean, we can pretend. I mean, I think it's a great idea that people think that the United States of America wants to see all of its citizens achieve them. I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that, and I don't believe it because of the pattern.
Yeah.
And the pattern has not changed very much over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So we can hope and we can pray because I'm gonna continue to pray.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't see it happening, Raheem. I don't believe it's gonna happen. Not in not in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Which could be tomorrow, but anyway, I don't think so.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Badger, talk to me.
Oh, man. So I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking, because I kind of had a little bit of this conversation with Willie yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many hands in the pot due to the struggle of many people. And one of the things that I mentioned, I don't know if it was Willie or the political group last night. I had a lot of talks yesterday. There are so many different issues when talking about dealing with the corrupt, the supremacists. Like trying to expect white people to understand what racism is when it's something that they don't experience unless they get into the realm of half-bloods and stuff of that nature. But what they can get is having to deal with Medicaid issues and everything else. The part that's going to be hard for them to understand is how race plays a role.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I've had to come to learn is unless you come from a minority, it's really hard to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't run around here expecting them to understand the struggles or pains that come with those issues or what it feels to be hated and things like that unless they come across the ones that hate white people
Mm-hmm.
and are treated hatefully, but then that can cause other problems.
Mm-hmm.
However, I always make the comment that because everyone wants their group focused first or part of, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but it's kind of hard to read 10 books at once, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't understand when we can't get along and just look at the fact that if we deal with a lot of the voting right issues and the immigration issue, let's just focus on voting rights, making sure everyone has equal access. It covers everybody.
Mm-hmm.
However, due to words, I actually had to teach someone that most of the bills that I've come across or laws that were put into place, right? I think it was Curtis that made a comment about this. Every time black people have gotten has gotten their rights, the other minorities and disabled communities were included. And most people don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that blew my mind because I'm like, y'all, then have you actually read it? I mean, not just speaking to them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's focus on the issues and quit fighting over some how do you pronounce that word? Oh, that's gonna make me. So does anyone know the word I'm trying to find?
Mm-mm.
I don't know how to. I have a hard time pronouncing it.
Okay.
Semtetics.
Statistics.
Spell the word.
You saying
Spell the word.
statistics?
No.
Are you
Not
saying statistics?
No, it's the one where you focus on the little things instead of the big picture.
Mm.
Simplistic.
No.
It'll come to us
Spell
in a
it.
minute.
I know the word in my head visually because I know what it visually stands for. I just don't know how the syllables work.
Okay.
Okay.
Look at what
That's
Paul
it.
said.
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay.
The one that Paul said. I just don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, talking about semantics?
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But because like we bring up mental health and I've brought up autism, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was told that, but I don't sound autistic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look Native American. Y'all have to, y'all skin is darker than mine.
Mm-hmm.
I can, as some people say, fit in, which I hate that terminology. But it took me, I don't know how long to realize kind of what white privilege was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hard part because I don't think like that. I'm for the community.
Do you know what it is now?
I still struggle with it because I don't have access to all this health care and money and all these things that people think I should have access to.
Okay. Stay right there. Let's keep this thing going. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, I don't want to go too far before I forget to shout out to Brother Joseph.
Yes, sir.
He's still on the line. I thought about him a couple of days ago, and I thought about him in the context of the Lionel Richie song. And I don't know if it's because he kind of talks or sounds like Lionel Richie or not, but the song was called "Sweet Love."
Mm-hmm. Sing it.
Because I remember. I'm gonna let you look it up. And this brother came across to me this way when I first, and I don't think it was when I first met him, but we had something for children in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the guest speakers at these events. And his words were so uplifting and motivating that I never forgot what that means to some children. That there are some of us who are Black that don't preach this sad story.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that come out, and I'm surprised I'm still here, Raheem, because you know how I can be.
Yeah.
And I will not constantly listen to people downplay who my people are in our contribution to society.
Mm-hmm.
I will never tell a Black child what he can and cannot be.
Mm-hmm.
I will never preach negativity to those who are already in bad situations. And I do not know why African Americans continue to do this. How can you tell a child he can be whatever he want to be and then try to put him in a cage because he's Black?
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot, your ancestors would not be preaching this message that I hear some of you preaching today. Literally, if you look at the movie The Great Gatsby, right, and we talk about the American dream and how it has changed, and really The Great Gatsby by Fitzgerald, I believe, was a criticism of the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow somebody turned this theory into being nothing but wealth. It's not about wealth that way, materialistic wealth. It's like my grandfather's dream. Mm-hmm. I got my own house, I got my own way to grow my food. I can take care of my children. And one, they can be whatever they want to be. Now I can sit down. And so those are the types of things that the American dream was about. It wasn't about immense wealth and all these other types of things.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the opportunity to pursue whatever it was that your mind and your dream was.
Mm-hmm.
Some Negroes only believe that there's one dream, and it's the one king had. You know what? Nobody else. King is popular before because he said it on a stage, fighting for people like him.
Mm-hmm.
And that dream was not just for Black people. Because King was a loving man. And he would not sit by and watch anyone's child suffer or be subjugated. Yet alone his own children, he definitely didn't want it to happen to. But we would get caught up into this narrative, this whipped narrative, that we are limited to this life experience because we are Black. Shame on you.
Wow. Wow.
Shame on you. Black didn't come around until when? When it became an issue and it became put in laws here in the United States. But think about all those Black people that don't live here. Think about those Black people that they forced on them boats. You think they thought like that? You'll be surprised if you go back and look at the determination that a lot of people had. All these people you're talking about doing Black history, those were those people that achieved those things regardless of the circumstances. The people come, they ain't teaching Black history in school. I'm 52. I was Jackie Robinson in the play.
Mm-hmm.
After Gibson, we learned all that in school back in the 70s. But look at all these, like one, I love our rappers that have done that, have been enemy number one, blamed for all the wrong in this world. But you know what? That didn't let them stop. They didn't let that stop them from accomplishing what it is they sought after. So stop preaching to your children that they can't be because they Black.
Mm-hmm.
Stop preaching to your children that they got to subject themselves to the wishes of a white man.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the message that was actually put forth, that we're telling them or we're trying to undermine them and make them think that they cannot accomplish. I don't think that's what maybe I missed something. Brandy, are you there? Brandy, are you there? Rico, talk to me.
I don't think we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing that. The system, once again. You know, man, I love what Cassandra Willis said, man. And it's funny, man. That's cool you said that, Nella, because I said that a long time ago when Joe played this song. I was like, man, you need to sell that to Lionel Richie.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something he would have wrote. Everything he did, I was like, man, I said, I hear it all in him.
Yeah.
But shame on Jay-Z. Shame on Jay-Z. Now, you know what? I thought it was admirable at first, too. But you know what it almost sounded like Jay-Z said when he got up on that stage and said that for his wife? Exactly the same thing Kanye did when he jumped up on stage.
Mm-hmm.
We want equal rights and opportunity. The math ain't mathing. So I don't want to say shame on Jay-Z, because at first I would say, man, that's admirable.
Mm-hmm.
He's on stage voicing there is not equal. Something ain't right. My wife don't won 32 Grammys and she ain't won Album of the Year right yet. Make it make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I thought about it. Man, is this the same man that said that ain't no need of kneeling no more? Stuck his nose in the NFL building when he ain't even made a tackle or threw a football. Is this the man that said that there ain't no more time for kneeling? Is this the man and the woman that don't go to the NAACP and BET Awards no more? See, I'm like Willa, man. I always imagine stuff, man. And you know, if really and truly, if the American dream looked like what Martin Luther King's dream looked like, people will be calling American socialists.
Mm.
And we don't love socialism. We hate socialism. If the American dream looked like what Jesus would love, oh man, we would be considered socialists. See, when I look at this man-made standard, I understand that even though the white man came up with the original idea of the American dream, and it's still a white man standard. And look at Jay-Z showing up at the Grammys trying to be accepted amongst the elites and rewarded with those that like to acknowledge each other. But at first, they wouldn't even acknowledge hip-hop.
Mm-hmm.
Now you on their stage talking about you want a little bit more. Oh, not the NAACP. We don't appreciate that. It's not as worthy. It don't mean as much to us as a Grammy or an Oscar. But don't you know what they even came up with them awards? It was to celebrate each other.
Yeah.
In their fields.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at that at first. I was like, man, you know what? I was thinking Jay-Z was admirable for standing up for his wife at first, but then he started looking like Eddie Murphy and Martin wanted some nigga only pies. When you gonna understand that we can't change them? Mm-hmm. They said whites only. Mm-hmm. No, we're not feeding our children these narratives because we didn't create the blacks only signs. We didn't create the no blacks allowed sign. We didn't create the colored water fountains, the white bathrooms. We didn't create the segregation. Yeah, Martin Luther King did preach that from a black perspective. He didn't cross Edmund Pettus Bridge for poor people. He crossed it for black equality and the black struggle for people who were over here that went through that experience. Mm-hmm. Then he went to poor and humanity, and that's when they really killed him. Mm-hmm. Because like Cassandra said, they know it ain't meant for everybody. The white man standard ain't meant for black men to succeed or black people to succeed. So when you standing up on that Grammy stage, begging to be respected and acknowledged because you have proven, just like your ancestors did, go back and apologize to Colin Kaepernick. Mm-hmm. By God, leave their awards alone because it ain't worth it. Do you need them to acknowledge you for you to understand that everything you and your wife do is better than theirs? Mm-hmm. You ain't gonna believe it till they tell you. Mm-hmm. Let them have it.
Yeah.
So at the same time, at first I thought he was admirable, and then I said, look at us again. You got God's mountain over here that's natural, probably covered with rock. And you got to scale it, or it might be covered with trees and wood, but it's all natural. Mm-hmm. Then you got man's mountain that he has created, and he's standing at the top of it, and we climbing to get to the top of that man mountain. And you got roller coasters and food and drinks and Rolls Royces and sets, and you got all these pit bulls, everybody climbing over each other like Willow said. Mm-hmm. Everybody climbing over each other to get to the top of this white man standard of the white man mountain that he's sitting on top of. And the whole time, God's mountain sitting over here on the side, full of just trees and rocks and natural. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a little turmoil, but you ain't got other people stepping on you to get to the top to the mountain that man has created.
Exactly.
So we are divided. We are divided. But I don't agree with saying that black people are telling black people they can't have, when really and truly they're just preparing them and preparing our youngsters to understand. Don't be deceived and think just because you have accomplished this level that they told you to accomplish, that now you're going to have a fair shot. Mm-hmm. You still going to have to work 5 times harder. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You still going to get up to Jay-Z money and not go to your NAACP awards and tell people that, yeah, it's progress and now ain't no need of kneeling no more. And then get right up on stage and start talking about, my wife got 32 Grammys, but she ain't won album of the year. And y'all said, well, show my wife, show us some appreciation. Act right, y'all. Mm. Still the same argument. Be fair. Be honest. Be truthful and give us what we deserve.
Ain't that the same? Ain't that the same conversation from years ago?
It sounds the same to me. So should we say shame on Jay-Z for saying that? Mm. No, he's speaking the truth. So I would ask Leonard to sort of think about that. You know what I mean? You can't change his mind because, you know, Leonard going to, he believed what he believed, and he got right too, because he got a legitimate leg to stand on. But you have to look at that side of it. He is not the one that's telling other black people that, hey, expect to feel this way or to look this way. I ain't trying to preach this to y'all, but now through Jay-Z's and Beyonce's experience, he still got to get up in front of these people and say, hey, man, when y'all going to be fair?
Good deal. Good
Something
deal.
ain't right. Look like y'all doing this different for some reason. Hint, hint.
Good deal.
Now, but before I go, because I know I'm over my 3 minutes, but I know y'all probably seen what Shannon Sharp was having a debate about who was bigger, Taylor Swift or Beyonce. And you know what he used to justify and say that Taylor Swift was way bigger than Beyonce?
What's that?
He used ticket sales at her shows and ticket sales at her movies. And based on that, he was telling the truth. He said that Beyonce's Renaissance tour only earned $500 million compared to Taylor Swift's Eras tour earning $1.5 billion.
Look at the amount of screens.
That's supposed to be, let me tell you, if you see my post then, that was the proof in it. That was the tour itself. So now when you have 56 tour dates and you only have 6 sponsors, then the next person has 151 tour dates with 30 sponsors. Why wouldn't you expect that money to be more when they've done 3 times as many shows?
Exactly.
Okay, so you say so many people seen the movie, Beyonce's movie. It only made such and such money. But then Taylor Swift's movie tripled Beyonce's ratings of people that came to see it. Triple the money.
Yeah, viewership.
Then you go back and say, well, look, Beyonce movie was on 2,700 screens. Just like the movie that Nate Parker made about the beginning of America. I can't remember what that was that he remade. They only put it on so many screens. She only had 2,700 screens for people to view her concert at the movies. Taylor Swift had only over 8,500.
Wow.
So you're going to say that this woman is the best based off the fact that she sold more, but she sold more because she had more people selling her stuff. Availability, access, equality. The numbers weren't equal. So, we have to acknowledge that even when we do try our best to chase this American dream, we might have to accept the fact that our youth and those coming after us understands that the numbers are not going to be fair and equal. And if you want that dream that man created, you're going to have to work 5 times as hard to get to the top of his mountain.
And the movie that he was speaking of, just for the listeners, is The Birth of a Nation. The Birth of a Nation is the name of the movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Birth of a Nation.
Good deal.
Minimum screens. Boo had more screens than Birth of a Nation. Tyler Perry's Boo.
Yeah.
I imagine that.
Wow. Keep this thing going. Willow!
Hey, Raheem.
Come on, let's talk about it.
And I tell you, Rico laid it all out. I can't do nothing but just piggyback on it with a check.
With a check. There
That's
you go.
it.
Yeah.
You can't add no more to that. You add anything else to that would probably dilute it. It was pure and purified.
There you go.
It is what it is. So that's what my heart's saying right now. Because I was yaying in the background.
There you go.
Amen and hallelujah.
And that's what it's all about. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I was going to make an attempt to sing our Black National Anthem. But then I thought about it. Why would you have to have a Black National Anthem? And I'm going to let that sink in to me while I'm thinking about it. Because their anthem is no good to us. Oh, beautiful. Get out of here. Sing my own song. And that's what we have to do. Sing our own song. Individually, because united, you can forget about that because some people don't want anything. They won't even go to sleep rather than dream.
Yeah.
Dream about what? They're casting away or throwing away the Martin Luther, I have a dream. Because they don't even have the same dream. You know what they want?
What's that?
Other folks' stuff. Other folks' stuff. What they see, what the narrative has been put out there. This selfish mentality. Get me, my, and I. The heck with the rest of us. Somebody said if all of us don't achieve, none of us does. And that's where we are. So you don't have to necessarily put your hand on your heart and sing. But we as a people still sing that song with harmony. I thought about that, and we don't even know how to harmonize no more because we're selfish and individuals.
Wow.
That don't want like they do. Manipulate people to get what you want. That's not the way to make it.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I'm through with the American dream. I'm frustrated with it.
Exactly.
Because they, I don't want to be included. I'm not looking to be included. But I'm gonna go ahead back and look at the old Negro national anthem. And here's the thing about that. There's people says I ain't never gonna sing that song.
And see,
In this
ain't
United
no
States of
stopping
America.
us now. We're on the moon. Ain't no stopping us now. We on the moon. Oh, I lost myself there for a second. Hey Rico.
You lost me too.
Hey Rico.
Uh-huh.
Paul said he's confused, man. I'll read what he said to you. He said, I'm confused. Is Rico saying that someone is racist in regards to Taylor Swift? I just say Taylor Swift, Lord Jesus. Taylor Swift toward Beyonce.
No. I guess he didn't really get what I was saying. They were deciding or debating who was the best superstar, the biggest superstar, who had the biggest public appeal. And based off the numbers, when you try to say, who was the biggest superstar between Beyonce and Taylor Swift, they said that the numbers proved that Taylor Swift was a bigger star than Beyonce. So I broke down why those numbers weren't right.
Yeah.
They really are on the same level. If you give Beyonce the same number of streams, her movie would have made more than Taylor Swift's movie. If you would have gave Beyonce the same number of tour dates, 156 compared to 151, her tour dates would have equaled or surpassed what Taylor Swift made gross. But based off the fact that she didn't have the same opportunity to expose herself or give people access to her material, they didn't have the access to buy it. Then that means she didn't have the potential to make as much money.
Yeah.
Now Taylor Swift is a bigger star.
Based on
you got 8,700 streams where people could go see your concert tour, but then you only got 2,700 for Beyonce.
So
I'm not saying that they're basing it off of race. I'm saying that the numbers are skewed because the access is based off of race.
Yeah. And so if give it an equal playing field, give both of them the same amount of screens, and even if you take some Taylor Swift's screens away and give her the same amount of screens that Beyonce had, and let's evaluate it along those lines. Put them in the same theater at the same time in two different areas, and let's look at the numbers. The numbers ain't gonna lie. The numbers gonna tell you the truth. if you compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. And in this instance right here, it's not apples to apples or oranges to oranges. It's something totally different. Curtis, talk to me, brother.
So,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rico. You got something else?
so here we are, still repeating what Martin Luther King has been saying. It's just that this is a new way. You got to wake people up to get them to understand that, hey, this is the same thing in 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
Just when you thought it was over.
It knocked on the door again. Are you gonna answer it? Curtis, talk to me.
You know, what Rico just said is so blatantly obvious in everything that we got going on, man. You know, I'm reminded, he just reminded me of when Obama became the Democratic nominee. Reminded of the first thing that they said. Is he actually from here? Did he actually get good grades when he was at Harvard? Everything was questioned about this dude. Right?
Yeah.
And let's keep it honest. Nobody questioned what Trump grades was when he was in college. Nobody questioned, well, is his name really Trump? And if it's not, why was that name changed? There was no questions, and this is what I see in our American culture right now all the time. There's a willingness to cancel out others, but no willingness to cancel out themselves. And the only time they're willing to cancel out themselves is when you are a person like Badger that do not support that foolishness. You know what I mean? So, like, Rico is right in thinking. I swear, boy, I wish he would be my manager. I swear I do. Because he's right in thinking, hold on now. Was the playing field level from the perspective of logistics and business? And according to those numbers, no, it wasn't. You comparing real talk. If you saying a 50-city tour, and then you saying 150-city tour,
yeah,
you can't compare them because the one with 50 ain't even halfway. The other thing is, I don't know if Rick looked at it, but you got to account for the places for which those tours happen.
Yeah.
What was the economical base for which those tours happen? So, like, Rick is right. If that's what you're comparing to say that she is, then you're really making a comparison based off of skewed numbers. It's just like when they send you a survey. You know, a survey, I can create a survey right now, real talk, that will have skewed questions in there, but it won't look that way. Because I use an and, a but, or maybe, little small words that changes the scope of the question. You see what I'm saying? So the question is, if we're going to make that comparison, then let's find something a little closer to the setup of our comparison. We can't compare children. You can't compare a high school football player and measure him on a measuring scale of a pro football player.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Exactly.
So I hear exactly what Rick is saying.
Good deal.
The opportunity is not presented the same way it's been presented to Taylor Swift.
Absolutely. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah. No, it really does. It physically hurts me to when I think about the disparities between um, our people and others, and how we have missed a lot of the American dream. And you know, like a part of that dream, like people say, to own a house. Do you realize that now, still in 2024, Black people are being discriminated against
Yes.
when it comes to housing? I know people say, yeah, well, if you really want a house, you can get a house. Just go on out there. You have the right score. But that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true for everybody. Oh, please, just do your own research. I don't ever want people to just take my word. If you want a house, yeah, you just go out there. If your score is good, you can get a house. Well, they've proven that even with Navy Federal, which I'm a part of Navy Federal, their numbers were jacked up.
Yep.
And the amount of Black people with the same credit score as their white counterparts, their applications were turned down compared to the. Come on, y'all. Listen, all of us want kumbaya and for everybody to get along and everybody to be treated fairly. I want that, man. Man, do I want that. But the reality is, it's not happening. Do you realize that even in corporate America, there are Blacks that should have been in CEO positions a long time ago in their companies, but that one white person that makes the choice will not allow a Black man or woman to be in there. Come on, how do you change that? How? I want those that living in kumbaya. Tell me how, if a man is determined that he does not want you to move forward, and he has the power to keep you from moving forward in that company, please tell me, how do you make it? You cannot make that happen. I don't know. If you can, please tell me, because I have a lot of people that I know that should have been in higher positions, that strictly because there was a racist in that position, they did not move forward.
Yep, exactly.
Could not move forward.
Wow. And she said she know people personally. Ain't nothing she heard. Talking personally. Badger, talk to me.
I was just kumbaya people. Actually, quite surprised Cassandra said that. See, at least from my understanding, a lot of the kumbaya people deal with a lot of that stuff, but I guess it's dealing with it in different ways. I don't know how many times I was turned down for management position and all kinds of stuff because of the way I talk. They used my struggles against me to say that I wasn't good enough. I was good enough to train the managers that would take that position, but I was never good enough to fill it myself. Because I wasn't good at I don't do the political talk or any of that. I'm too straightforward, I'm too blunt, I'm too this, I'm too that, so therefore I'm disqualified. I mean, I can relate from that standpoint. I felt they used my mental struggles as, no, I don't want you in this position because I don't think you're smart enough. So, however, I went, I'm done. I'm done for trying to deal with a company that's full of corrupt people. I'm going to go somewhere else that's going to appreciate what I can do.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a way. Now, yeah, I've become disabled because of my spine and all that stuff, but I'm a board member now for a nonprofit.
There you
God
go.
took care of me. I'm not going to sit there and rely on human beings that I know are in it for their own personal reasons, irregardless if they're using race, classism, condemning someone because they think autistic people are retarded and stupid. or incapable of something, I ain't got time to let that stop me. I have 2 kids and a wife I got to take care of.
Yeah.
So I learned that people are not gonna like me because I follow a Native American path. People don't understand what autism is and the spectrum of it,
Wow.
or the spirituality that I walk.
Mm-hmm.
I've just had to come to accept that not everyone's gonna like me, and people are gonna hate me for whatever reason they've deemed to do so. The
Mm-hmm.
best I can do is to walk the walk I'm supposed to walk, which is Christ-like, and be the best human being I can be, because I ain't got time no more. I am 37 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be hateful toward me? You want to keep me from the job that you're requiring? I'm going to go elsewhere. Your loss, not mine.
Good deal.
Like I had to force my brain to think different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good deal.
Get out of that status quo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. I'm not going to say it ain't. It sucks being different. Irregardless if it's black skin, Native American, Chinese, Muslim, or whatever. Hateful people are hateful people, and they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Let's focus on the main issues, work together instead of going, my trauma's bigger than your trauma, and just deal with the crap that's going on.
Good deal.
We fight more over some semantics than we do anything else. How can we accomplish anything?
Good.
If all we're going to focus on is the nitpicky words in the conversation.
Good deal. Good deal. Got to keep this thing moving. Actually, we're going to get out of here in a minute or two, but I want to read what Paul said on the okay. America should do right by American black people, but they won't. Not because white people are racist, but because it's easier to maintain the status quo, and it's easier to keep people divided when we talk about racism. Last part is it's easier to keep people divided when we talk about racism. Rico, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean it's a trickle effect. I mean, what do you expect people to do when it's actually being, utilized?
Mm-hmm.
Ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up and dribble.
Wow.
Jay-Z wasn't up there saying that for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The Birth of a Nation wasn't at 10 movie screens across the United States for nothing.
Yeah.
People weren't going to see, Birth of a Nation, and then when they sit down, Home Alone popped up for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It is divisive, but I mean, we can't ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't ignore the Emmett Tills, the Edward Steins, the Hannah Lou, it's too many to name.
Yeah.
We can't ignore this black experience. We can't ignore the fact that Martin Luther King wasn't just up there talking to hear himself. Because he like to hear himself talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wasn't up there talking because he wanted to divide people.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted little black children and little white children to play together. He just wanted an equal playing ground. So he is right. It exists. It won't be got. It won't go anywhere. America won't let it go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The 1% don't want to sacrifice any profits. Like I said earlier, if we were to actually implement Martin Luther King's dream, we would have actually lived by what would Jesus do. Corporate America would have a fit.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good.
Because you would be giving away too much and sacrificing too much to these lazy people.
Wow.
I mean, so we can't deny we can't deny the existence the conditions that exist. So I hope Paul would understand that, because I mean he has grown a lot, you know, and understanding more and more. You know, he came in with a lot of great understanding, and then still had to get a lot more understanding. But this is not, you know, something that we created out of division. This is something that we have to address because it's already there.
Yeah, good deal, good deal. Let me see, Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? You heard what Paul said? What's on your heart?
Well, you know, I understand what Paul said or what have you. You know, that he has a particular point of view, and it belongs to him. And we could do a lot of things, but the things that we should be doing, we are not. And this is why those people are staying in power. With all their money and all their positioning, if all of you decided to go vote, guess what? You'd win. And you look at with Jay-Z and all their money. See, I don't have a problem with what he said or whatever. I don't even watch the program. But when I listen to the speech, I understand. Because that's his world. That's what he chose to do as a little boy. That's his field that made him wealthy. He probably knows the people on the board making the selections. That's his world, not yours.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can relate to his message. But you have to understand what's different about his message. I can't get involved with folks talking about awards and recognition. I don't get down like that because that's too subjective. Sit around and argue, have an argument about anything like that. Who's the best? So what? I mean, that's up to them people fighting for that. But what I do know is that Stevie Wonder was the first one.
Yeah.
And his records had such an impact. And I just seen this same man, put a message in social media about the love that he has been talking about his entire life, and how people need to come together, and how we need to leave war alone. And if we think that war is the only way for change, then it's us who has the problem. Anybody, I believe, can do what it is they set their heart and mind to, regardless of the obstacles, because I've seen too many people do it. I've seen too many people who lost everything and then got it back because they chose to pursue a different path. So one, I'm never going to give up and find what's right. It's not that I don't change my mind, Rico. It's that someone has to have a reason for me to change my mind. And if that reasoning is not based in righteousness, I'm going to go along my same path, because I believe that all of us are God's children. Whether good or bad, we still are his children. I'm not going to make another man's weakness mine. And I'm not going to exploit the suffering of others. If I can't help you, I'm not going to try to hurt you. So I think that when we're having conversations and we feel so passionate about things, feel passionate about things that actually matter to you. Me worried about who the best between Taylor Swift and Beyonce ain't got nothing to do with how I feed my children. As Badger was mentioning. Badger comes from a whole different story about a whole different type of discrimination. But I can understand, and I know I wouldn't want it to happen to me, so I can fight for him. A lot of people believe that they are the best at everything. That's subjective. You should just want to be happy in your own right. It's about your personal pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness that should be pushing you through this society.
Good deal.
Not I should have what someone else has.
Good deal. Well, we're about to get out of here, y'all. It's been a great broadcast. Leonard, somebody done came in here about 8:30, man, 8:45, talking about, man, this sounds like a great conversation. I wish there was a way. I wish that there was a way I could hear the whole broadcast. Is it possible, Leonard?
It's very possible, Raheem. They did not get a chance to hear the show in its entirety. They can log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3:00 Eastern today.
Good deal. Good deal. Willa had to step away for a second. So, Kurt, let me get you to pray us out, brother.
Well, hold on, Raheem. Before you proceed,
okay.
Before you proceed, we need to add a disclaimer to this, because as an experience of one of the people that like to listen to the replay, they do need to understand that if they could, it would be best to tune in on a live broadcast.
Yes.
Because when you listen to that replay, you're going to want to call in and give your opinion or ask a question.
Exactly.
So go ahead and give them that time of the original broadcast one more time, just in case they can catch that broadcast, because you're going to get a little hungry at that replay.
Exactly. You can listen to We live every day from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So get here 7 o'clock in the morning from 7 until 10 Eastern Standard Time. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. So yeah, you might want to get the live version, because you can call in. You can be a part of that conversation that we're having at that time. Now, you try to call in at 3 o'clock. Boo, boo, boo. That's all you gonna get. I'm just being honest with you. That's all you're gonna get. So we love to have you doing an actual live broadcast. But the rebroadcast is for the people that could not actually watch it in the morning, being at work or whatever the case. And so we rebroadcast it again at 3 o'clock. Curtis, can you pray us out, brother?
I don't have a problem with that, but can I just read something really quick that I think is very important to our overall discussion?
Okay. You say real quick?
Yeah, it's real quick. It's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Go ahead.
6 lines.
Go ahead, brother. Read
It says, well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead, but it doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop, and I don't mind. Like anybody, I would want to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountaintop, and I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. Now, I might not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. And I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. I think sometimes that in the midst of everything that we have going on, good, bad, or indifferent, we have to understand that our day is coming.
Yes.
That our root has been planted. Our feet or foot or feet, however you want to say it, is in the soil. And you can't uproot us. You can't deny us. And you definitely can't play no more games with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. Let's go to the throne of grace. Most graciously, Heavenly Father, I come as humbly as a believer can come. I come with my mind clear, my heart open, and my spirit set on you.
Yes,
God, I come once again with the spirit of thanksgiving, thanking you for all the things that you have bestowed upon me today, yesterday, and that you will bestow for tomorrow. God, I come thanking you for just allowing your spirit to continuously protect us, hold us, mold us, and keep us close to your bosom. God, I thank you. God, I thank you for assembling such great minds of wisdom, compassion, understanding, and beauty. God, I thank you. God, I thank you for just breathing words in the Pastor Donald and Pastor Cassandra and Pastor Willa. All of these people that you just continuously breathe your words through. God, we thank you.
Yes.
God, we thank you for the Raheem Ajimay family. We thank you for the Rico Jackson family, Leonard's family. God, we thanking you for all the things that you have graciously provided us. God, we thank you for the comfort that you give each and every one of us while we sleep. God, continue to hold us. Continue to walk ahead of us. Continue to walk behind us. Continue to walk beside us. And continue to shine through us. And we will be ever so grateful as to continue to give you the praise, the honor, and the glory. In the mighty name of Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. Let us all say amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Good deal. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK, your media group and associates, and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:13. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will as well. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow morning if God says the same. Love you.